Hello students, Namaste. I think you are doing well and you are ready for today's class. Today we are going to discuss about living beings and their structures, that is unit 3 of grade 8 science and technology. Under it, today we will discuss about different parts of a nucleus mainly. Before it, we have discussed about all the cell organelles and nucleus also introduced, but only name were discussed. Their structure and then their function were not discussed. So today we will discuss uh, about these parts of the nucleus. After that, we will compare animal cell and plant cell, mainly differences, and finally we will discuss about the interrelation among cell, tissues, organs, body system, and that is body of an organism. So, at first, in the beginning of today's lesson, I am going to give you one question to think. That is not very difficult, very simple question. It is, which part of a cell plays the role of brain for the cell, or which is called as brain of a cell? So it is simple question. Do you remember? Yes, this structure you have identified, about which you were introduced last time, and we discussed that a cell consists of 4 major parts. Yes, nuclear pore is given here extra. That is not for your label. Just if you know that nuclear membrane has pores between them, which is called a nuclear pore. But here main structures are what? Nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope, the nucleoplasm, nucleolus, and next one is chromatin or chromatin fiber or chromatin network. Number of names are given to it. Chromatin only is also enough. So these 4 parts. Yes. So today we are going to discuss about these parts. At first, nuclear membrane, which is labeled as what? Nuclear envelope. Same thing. Nuclear membrane, plasma membrane, nuclear envelope, all of them are same thing. Okay. So what is about it? A membrane that separates nucleoplasm and cytoplasm. We discussed that nucleoplasm is surrounded by nuclear membrane, and out of nuclear membrane there is cytoplasm, and both of the fluid are jointly called as what? Protoplasm. Yes, and protoplasm is basis of life. Okay. Now next point is made of 2 layers. They are double layered structure, double layer component of a cell, and which they are made of protein and lipid. You know what is lipid? Lipid is a simple form of fat. I told you that I can say about all the components of a cell made of fat, protein, and carbohydrate. Yes. So that is made up of 2 things. They are protein and fat. The simple form of fat is lipid with fine pores. So these fine pores are termed as what? Nuclear pore. Okay. It is flexible in nature. It can enlarge, it can contract. So this flexibility is found in it, and it protects the nucleus. Inside it, in fact, it itself a part of nucleus, but other components of the nucleus are protected by it. There are chromatin, then nucleolus, cytoplasm, all these things are protected by it. Not only that, it allows to pass required substances to pass inside the nucleus and to pass outside the nucleus. So that control is also done by it. Yes, internal transportation. That process is what? Internal transportation. Okay. Now, it is related with what? Synthesis of enzymes. It produces enzymes and antibiotics. Antibiotics are those chemicals which are formed inside our body and help to fight against diseases. Yes. Okay. So these things are related with nuclear membrane. Yes. So nuclear membrane and function, both we are finishing together. Okay. So what are the major function of it? Repeat once again, these 3 are functions. Protects the nucleus, helps in internal transportation, yes, and synthesizes enzyme and antibiotics. Okay. Now next structure is nucleolus. So nucleolus is that. That is nucleolus. Yes. So, nucleolus is round structure inside the nucleus. Yes. What is its major feature? It is coverless. It has no cover, a round and jelly-like, just thick fluid inside the nucleoplasm. The thick, dense, thick means that is dense fluid that is more jelly-like, not watery, and it is round and coverless structure. Yes. It is made of protein and RNA. RNA. RNA is what? Do you remember? Once I wrote about it. RNA. Ribonucleic acid. Like that, what did I tell you? DNA. Deoxyribonucleic acid. So, RNA and DNA are combinedly called as what? Nucleic acids. Nucleic acids. Yes, they are the main two acids. Nucleic acids are two acids found inside the nucleus. One with ribose sugar, another one is with deoxyribose sugar. So, in detail, you will study later in her classes. Okay. Now, next, disappears during cell division. So, this nucleolus disappears during cell division. In beginning of cell division, it disappears, and later at the end of cell division, it reappears. Okay, and reappears in the last stage of the cell division. Okay, and it forms spindle fiber during cell division. Now, another term you have got, spindle fiber. I gave you that diagram that inside the cell nucleus has to divide into two parts. There the role of centriole was given, that this is two centrioles of a centromere. Yes, and in fact some thread-like structures are formed inside the cell which are attached at the two ends of the cell, and the ends at which they are remained attached is called as pole, and that portion is called as equator, like the earth. Equator at middle. In my diagram that is little bit hard, doesn't matter, it is about middle, where there is maximum distance between these fibers, and these fibers are called as what? Spindle fibers. Spindle fibers. On these spindle fibers, the chromosomes remain attached here. So, formation of this spindle fiber is done by what? That is done by nucleolus. Yes, and these spindle fibers help to bring these chromosomes at poles. So, later the process, whole process you are not going to be taught here, just you understand what is a spindle fiber. Okay, students? So, spindle fiber is formed by what? Nucleolus. Okay. The process is not necessary to know, but what is a spindle fiber? Just to identify that, I have given this diagram. Okay. So, it is about nucleolus. Next one is nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm is the fluid inside the nucleus, that is inside the you can say nuclear envelope. That fluid is called as what? Nucleoplasm. Okay. So, the fluid inside nucleus is called as what? Nucleoplasm. That is simply we have discussed about it. What is it made of? This fluid is made of water, protein, mineral, nucleic acid. Nucleic acid, just I wrote RNA and DNA and enzymes. Nucleolus and chromatin fiber are scattered in it. That means it gives base for these components of the nucleus. In that cytoplasm, these components are found. Yes, and it controls the amount of water in cell, synthesizes DNA. That means it forms DNA, RNA and enzymes. DNA, RNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, ribonucleic acid and enzymes are also formed by DNA, RNA are formed by this nucleoplasm. Some enzymes are also formed by it. Enzymes are also secretion inside our body which are required for different chemical reactions taking place inside our body for metabolism. Yes, so there is very important role of nucleoplasm also. Look, number of main functions is done by different components of a nucleus. Okay. Now, last one is chromatin fiber. Chromatin fiber is not visible every time inside the cell. We discussed about it. During cell division, in the beginning of cell division, they become visible in the form of networks, that is called as chromatin network. Otherwise, it is termed as chromatin only, chromatin body. Yes, that term is used for them. So, chromatin network later divides into particular pieces. They are called as chromosomes. Chromosomes may form their duplicates. These duplicates may separate or may not separate. They make pairs. There are number of processes during cell division about which you will be taught in higher classes. Here it is not necessary to know, but that there is the role of this structure in what? Cell division also. That's why we are mentioning it again and again. So, chromosomes are formed from what? Chromatin fibers. And these chromosomes carry parental characters into offsprings. How do we be similar with our parents? How does a couple of cat gives birth of kittens, not a puppies? That is because of these chromosomes which carry parental characters into offsprings. Okay, how surprising the nature is. Yes, and interesting also. Okay, so first thing, chromatin fibers are found in the form of network that forms what? Chromosomes. They appear in the beginning of the cell division, so already we have finished about it, and disappear in the last of cell division as in what? Yes, in nucleolus. Number of chromosomes is fixed in the cell of particular species. In our, what is the number of chromosomes we discussed? What was that? In each cell, 23 pairs, in each vegetative cells. And in our reproductive cells that participates in fertilization, like in ova, sperm, in them, its number is just half of the total number in vegetative cells. That is only 23, not 23 pairs. Like that, different organisms have different number of chromosomes. It does not determine that number of chromosomes is if more, then more characteristics will be there. No. In fact, how much genes are carried by the chromosomes. Sometimes even one pair of chromosomes can control all the characteristics of the parents into offspring. Yes, and sometimes several pairs, maybe more than 100 plus pairs chromosomes are found in some species, but they are very simple in structure, not as complex as us. Yes, so number of chromosome does not determine the complexity of the body of an organism. Okay, it depends on the characters carried by the chromosomes, and chromosomes have genes on them, genes, genes, which carry parental characters into offsprings. So generally here we can say that chromosomes carry parental characters into offspring, but in fact on chromosomes there are genes which they do this work. Okay. Okay. Transfer parental characters, so we discussed. It is about chromatin fiber. Now students, what is the function of nucleus as a whole? Number of functions we have discussed. So altogether we have to see once. So nucleus conducts conducts and controls metabolism. What is metabolism? All of the chemical reactions take place inside our body which form or deform the substances inside us. They are metabolism. It is of two types, catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism is that in which complex molecules are decomposing into smaller molecules, simpler molecules, or breaking of the chemicals is catabolism. And anabolism is combination of simple molecules to form big molecules. Both of the processes are necessary inside our body. So combinedly they are termed as what? Metabolism. It also conducts and controls excretion as well as transportation. So this work is done by nucleus. Carry hereditary characters. Hereditary characters I termed parental characters. Hereditary characters are those characters which transfer from parents into offspring, like facial, physic, face structure, eye structure, yes, color of skin, color of hair, yes. So all these things are carried from, or you can say transferred from parents into offsprings. But there are some characteristics to which we have to learn after birth. That is not parental character, that is our acquired character. What type of character? Acquired, to which we have to learn. We have to learn how to dance, we have to learn how to sing, we have to learn how to write, how to read, how to art, how to play a music. So all these things are learned after birth. So they are what? Acquired characters. Okay. So two types of characters are different: hereditary and acquired. So carry hereditary characters from parents into offspring. Okay. Now help in formation of new cells. So we have seen that number of roles are of these nucleus components in cell division. Nucleolus has its role, chromosomes has its role, cytoplasm has its role. Everybody of them have their role in what? Formation of new cells, that is in cell division. So that is directly related with our growth. Participates in asexual reproduction. Reproduction is of two types: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is that reproduction in which fertilization does not take place, and sexual reproduction is that in which fertilization takes place. What is fertilization then? In class 7 also you have studied something about it. Fertilization is fusion of nuclei of male and female gametes. So nucleus participates directly in asexual reproduction, but it doesn't mean that it does not take any part in sexual reproduction. There is its parts also, because the gametes also have nucleus. Gametes also have the parts of nucleus inside them. Okay, so they play the role in reproduction, directly in asexual reproduction of unicellular organism, because as the cell divides into two, the single cell body of organisms also can divide into two. Two organisms are formed. Okay, so that is also one way of reproduction. What does it call? In other unit you will be taught. Each and everything may be difficult to remember by you for it. That's why I'm not introducing in detail. Okay, so students, we have finished about all the components of the cell organelles and other things. But our work is not finished. We are going to compare about animal cell and plant cell, and mainly we will write differences among them. So next is that diagram. You are familiar with it because you did one activity in prior lesson in which you have labeled all these parts. Now you have to identify the differences between them, and you have to make a table having plant cell and animal cell in two columns, and then you have to write these differences in points. So let's start your work. Do your work. Okay. After that, you have to compare your work. Do you have these points in your work? Plant cell is big and regular in shape. Animal cell is small and irregular in shape. If you have, just tick. If do not have, then write it. Okay, write them, both sides. Yes, okay. Now next point. It has cell wall and cell membrane. That is plant cell. It has both cell wall and cell membrane. But here animal cell, it has no cell wall but only cell membrane. That dotted line shows that cell wall is only in plant cell, not in animal cell. Yes, okay. Third one, I think you are writing it, that animal cells do not have plastid. Plant cells have what? Plant cell has plastid, and that is absent in animal cell. Okay. Next one, there is difference in centrosome. Centrosome is found only in animal cell, not in plant cell. In plant cell, look there, centrosome is absent, and in animal cell only it is shown by a dotted line. Yes, so here dotted line is making you easy to differentiate them. Okay, what is the next point? Dotted lines are finished. It has big and permanent vacuole, and here animal cells have small and temporary vacuoles also sometimes, because food vacuoles finishes after the consumption of food. Contractile vacuole finishes after excretion, and then again new contractile vacuole is formed. Ear vacuole also may increase and decrease in size, may increase and decrease in number. So usually in animal cell, the vacuoles are what? Yes, not temporary, sorry, not permanent, temporary. And in plant cell, they are permanent. Okay. Now next, lysosome is rare in plant cell. Lysosome is found in both of the cells, but in very less type of plant cells it is found, and usually in animal cells it is rich. Okay, or you can say lysosomes are rich. So here we have differentiated in plants and animal cells in 6 points. Some more points you can write. If you are writing something different, consult your teacher and be clear that your point is correct or not. That may be correct or incorrect, doesn't matter. So you have to consult your teacher. Okay, students? Okay. So about cells we have, that means cell structure, animal cell, plant cell we have finished. Now we have to discuss about the interrelation among cell, tissue, organ, and more than them with body system and whole body. So at first you observe this diagram, that is activity for you. So at first study the diagram. I am giving you instruction what to do. Here A is given, B is given, C is given, D. Yes, and arrow is also given here, one after, and the flow chart is given. Now your activity is discuss on the basis of the given diagrams and following questions. What is the first question? What way of construction of C is shown in the diagram? Means how is C formed? Is there any role of these things? So flowchart also will support you. Yes, discuss. Here A is a muscular cell. This muscular cell forms muscular tissue when number of muscular cells are joined together. When number of muscular cells join together, they form what? Muscular tissue. In fact, it is a special type of muscular tissue because it is related with heart. Heart has cardiac muscles, about which in higher classes you will be taught. Anyway, you can say muscle or muscular cell, that is muscular tissue, and then that is heart. Heart is an organ. It consists of not only this tissue, number of other tissues are also forming it. There are blood vessels, so different type of tissues. You are not familiar with different type of tissues, but there are other than muscular tissue also, you can guess it. Yes, so these tissues are forming this organ, and with that organ there are some other organs joined. There are arteries, veins, and other things. They are making a system. Yes, so I think the next question may be related with it. Does A support to conduct the function of the C? Here, function of C. What is the function of C? What does heart do inside our body? It pumps blood. So who helps in pumping of blood? Obviously the muscles. And these muscles are made of what? Cells. So finally the cells have to play important role in it, because muscles are made up of, muscular tissue is made up of what? Muscular cell. And the heart is made up of this muscular tissue and other. So there is role of A in the function of C. Okay. Now next, how is the D formed? Already I have discussed that muscle forms muscular tissue, like that other cells forms other tissue. There are number of types of other cells. You are introduced in different types of cells like blood cells, nerve cells, sperm, ova, muscular cells, epithelial cells. So these cells you have already introduced in the beginning of the lesson. So these different type of cells form different types of tissues, and these tissues form an organ. For example, this finger. This finger consists of skin. This finger consists of muscle. This finger consists of bone, consists of blood, yes, consists of cartilage, nail. So there are different type of tissues found in an organ. In every organ, such type of tissues are found. I mean, different type of tissues are found. Are you clear? Okay. So different type of tissues when organized, they form organs, and when different type of organs organize, then they form a body system. That may be blood circulatory system, maybe digestive system, maybe respiratory system, maybe reproductive system, maybe muscular system, maybe skeletal system. There are a number of systems inside our body, and all of the systems form what? Yes, they form whole body. So that concept you are given here. You can see here, that is what type of cell? Nerve cell. Nerve cell forms nervous tissue. Here is muscle cell, forms muscular tissue. Here is intestinal cell, it forms intestine, yes, or the tissue of the wall of intestine. It is hepatocytes. Hepatocytes is the cells found in our liver. Hepatocyte is what? The cells found inside our, that means those who form liver. So liver, that is tissue, the tissue of liver. So there are different type of tissues which are formed from the cells. There are only some samples, some examples. There are many other type of tissues also. Yes, blood tissue, bone tissue. Yes, okay. So this tissue, that is nervous tissue, forms, that is brain. Brain is an organ. Muscular tissue forms our hand. There is not only arm, there is not only muscular tissue. There is bone also, which is another type of tissue. There is blood also, which is another type of tissue. Yes, so there are some other structures also, not only they, but there is presence of muscle also. Yes, and then intestine is made up of this intestinal tissue. There are epithelial, muscular, then connective tissues are also like blood vessels are found there. So number of tissues. So they form what? Organs. It doesn't mean that only a single type of cell, single type of tissues form an organ. In that organ, there are some other types of tissues also. A tissue is made up of a similar type of cell. But when an organ is formed, there are different types of tissues combined. Okay. And here in liver, liver is, that is hepatocytes are there, hepatic cells, hepatic tissue is there. Not only that, you are seeing that there are blood vessels. Obviously, there must be blood inside that. There must be covering epithelial tissue. Yes, so they form organ. Here we have to understand that cells unite into tissues, tissues unite into organs. Up to here you are clear. Okay, students. Now see, after that, what happens? These organs when unite, they form different body system. You can identify this. Is it difficult to read? Doesn't matter. That is blood circulatory system. It is nervous system. It is respiratory system. It is digestive system. And that one is what? Skeletal system. Muscular system is not shown here. Endocrine system is not shown here. Reproductive system is not shown here. Not all the system. Some representative systems are shown here. Okay. And when different systems are combined together, then what do they form? They form human body. That may be male or female, doesn't matter. So in this way, different systems are united here and they are forming the whole body of an organism. It is clear? Okay. So there is a very close relationship among the cells, tissues, organs, body systems and whole the body. Organism's body, not only of human beings, any organism of the world made up in this way. That may be plant also. Plants are also made up of their own type of tissues, their own type of cells, yes, organs, yes, they are formed. Okay, but we are understanding all these things by the example of human body. Okay, so that same thing is explained here. Here is muscle cell, as you have started the interrelationship, that is muscular tissue, heart, yes, already you have finished. So what is that interrelation in the formation of human body? The main role is of the cells. That's why cells are called as what? We have started the lesson with cells are structural and functional unit of life. Yes, they are considered as structural unit and functional unit. Cells are, yes, that is given here also. Cells are of different shapes and sizes according to their function. Already you are introduced about it. Yes, cells unite into a tissue. Yes, we have seen. Tissues unite into an organ. Tissues means different type of tissues. Okay, not a single type of tissue. Organs unite into body system. Not a single organ, but number of organs unite to form a body system, and different type of body systems form the whole body. We have discussed about it. Yes. Okay. Now next one is, in this way cell tissue and organs are interrelated. I can say closely interrelated. So students, today we have discussed mainly about the different components of a nucleus, which is found inside the cell at central region. They were nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleolus and chromatin network. And we discussed about their functions separately, and as a whole what is the function of nucleus also we have discussed. Then we discussed about differences between animal cell and plant cell, and finally we discussed about interrelation among cell, tissues and organs. Yes, now I am giving a project work to you, that is prepare a colored chart to show interrelation among cell, tissue and organs as shown in the diagram. So here is not only that, systems and organism is also given. So that model, that is a sample. This model you can make anyway by pasting something, yes, by pasting some materials, or by by cutting with papers. So whatever, that depends on your creativity. You have to make that model and try to do your best, okay, and show your teacher. Okay, now what have you learnt? Let's see. What is the study of cell called? This term we have not discussed. That is your general knowledge. Yes, is it histology, cytology, morphology or cardiology? That is B number, I think you are marking it, that is cytology. Okay students, next question. Which of following is role of nucleus in growth and development of organisms? Growth and development of organisms. Synthesizes protein for growth. Conducts synthesize protein for growth, conduct internal transportation. Maybe all of them may be function, but that should be related with growth and development of organism. Participation in cell division or control all the activities of the cell. Okay, now you can say that which one of them is the function of nucleus, which is related with growth and development of an organism, which is related with all over the growth. Yes, so that is controls all the activities of the cell. Now next question, which of following statement is true about nucleus? Nucleolus forms RNA and DNA. Nuclear membrane is protein and RNA, that is made up of what? On the basis of that. Chromatin network form chromosomes, and nucleoplasm is not a part of protoplasm. So I think you have guessed the correct answer, that is C1. Chromatin network forms what? Chromosomes. Yes. Now last multiple choice question is related with that table and this matching. Which one is correct? Just to find out. Yes. Now see your answer is correct or not. That is 1B, nuclear membrane made of lipid and protein. Yes. 2D, nucleus is brain of cell. Yes. 3A, nucleolus, formation of spindle fiber. Fourth one is already correct because there is no alternative remained. Yeah. Okay. Now here are some questions to which you have to copy and answer, and later you will show to your teacher. Write write different parts of a nucleus. Just 4 parts you have to name. Next one, name the part of a nucleus that carries parental characters into offspring. Very easily you can do it. How are cell tissue and organs interrelated? Describe with diagram. So here in detail we have discussed about it. I don't think that you need any help to do that. You will do. Diagram also you have to give. Fill the Venn diagram showing differences between plant and animal cell. Here, what structures are found in animal cell you have to write. What components are found there. What are found in plant cell you have to write here. And what are found in both. That means those which are found in animal cell only you will write here. Those which are found in plant cell only you will write here. And those which are found in both you have to write here. That list will be longer. Yes. Okay, students. There is another question also with diagram, and you have identified easily what is it. Yes. So which of them forms spindle fiber? Out of these 4, which one forms spindle fiber? You have to write. It depends on you. I'm not going to discuss about it. Already discussed. Which of them change into chromosomes? Out of these 4, there is one component that changes into chromosome. You have to identify. Compare D and C. Here D and C. Yes, you have to compare them. Yes, and in this way we have finished today's class. Next day I will be with new lesson. That's all for today. Namaste.